Good evening and welcome to the show. We're so glad to have you back with us. I'm Tom Waters, your host, and I'm overjoyed to have such an outstanding guest for the next session. This is Lorena Dellinger. She is the Nye County Assistant County Manager for Nye County. Now, for those of you in Nye County as well as Clark County that may not know, Nye County is the third largest county in the United States of America. And when you have a person in charge, as assistant even, in charge of the third largest county in the nation, there's got to be a lot that's being done. And Lorena is going to tell us about a lot of that and a lot of things that are going on. And I hope you're going to be paying attention. I hope you've got pen and paper and you're going to be writing this down. And if you have any questions, you may even have to call her and say, Lorena, you said this or you said that, and can you explain this to me or something else? And whether you're in Nye County or Clark County, some of it may be the same, but she's going to let you know that. So at this time, Lorena, I'd just like to welcome you to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I am so glad to have you this evening, and we're going to talk about Nye County and talk about the fact that you are the Assistant County Manager. And I've talked to many county managers, but I haven't talked to an assistant. And I've always took for granted that the assistant does everything that the county manager does. But you've enlightened me and let me know that that's not necessarily the case. So what is the job of the assistant county manager?
Yes, they are two extremely different roles.
Wow.
But I will say, though, we do work hand in hand, myself and Brett Wagner, our county manager, so we can be interchangeable. If he's out, I can step in.
Wonderful. Okay.
Yes, but day to day, completely different jobs. I'm more internal and operations and employee engagement, ensuring our policies are written the way they should so our teams can, implement anything that our Board of County Commissioners put into place.
Well, what is your background? How did you get into something like this?
I started with a title company in Tonopah, actually.
Okay.
Yes, and there was an opportunity that presented me in the planning department. And that's where I started my career with Nye County, was in the planning department.
Okay, and just moved on over from planning to
administration.
Okay. And obviously you enjoy it.
I do, yes. There are different opportunities come up in the county with different jobs, different departments, different offices, and none of them were as appealing to me as administration.
Oh, that sounds great. Okay. Now, when you look at the county manager's position versus the assistant county manager's position, and you say they're distinctly different, what are some of the big differences that you impact as assistant county manager?
I would say the big distinct differences are I keep a pulse on what's happening on our teams, and not just in administration, but all across the county. If we're encountering any situation, I'll make sure that we're following policy, and the policy is working for us, and working with Brett on when something doesn't work, we'll need to approach the board and let them know, we'll need to change something, and that will ultimately go before the board. But distinctly, I'd say I'm more internal to be able to funnel that information up to Brett.
Okay. And getting the information to the county manager to make sure it's implemented. You mentioned your teams. What do you mean by teams?
I refer to all of our different departments by teams.
Okay.
And yes.
It's a team effort to make everything work.
It is.
Okay. And you're leading the charge.
Yes. I'd like to think so.
Well, you're making it work because when you think about some of the accomplishments of Nye County, obviously you can take credit for that and pat yourself on the back, along with Brett. Now, Brett is new. Mm-hmm. So you handled things while there was no county manager.
Yes. I did for about 3 months.
And during those 3 months, you let everybody know that you could run this county if you had to.
And that is the idea, the structure of a county manager and assistant county manager, to be able to keep that continuity of government going and institutional knowledge.
Okay. What are some of the things you're proud of that you've accomplished in Nye County?
More recently, I have been working on our indigent defense program. That's for our public defenders. We are regulated by the state, and we have to put into place a plan that complies with state regulations. And that was quite an endeavor to ensure that we bring the county into compliance. So that was something more recently that we just adopted. We updated and adopted the regulations for Nye County. I have some projects that I am working on that are up and coming, that I'm proud of. I will be proud of, hopefully, if they roll out the way I'd like to, which is one of the reasons why I was excited to be here to talk about Nye County services. And I am going to be rolling out, it was introduced last year during National County Government Month proclamation, which earlier today the commissioners adopted. And we would like to provide a platform for our citizens to be educated on what our different departments do.
Oh, that's wonderful, because I'm sure there are a lot of people that they'll come to the county commissioner meetings not knowing exactly everything goes on in the background. And this will enlighten us to let us know the hard work that's being done, not only by you, but by your teams.
Yes, that is the idea. National County Government Month is a month where you highlight services, but really we should be doing it all year long. There are many instances where I've received feedback from our elected officials that we do not have enough people tapping into the programs that we offer. One program we offer are veterans exemptions through our assessor's office. And our assessor has told me time and time again, we've had veterans come through the office that didn't even know this program existed. So
that's a fact.
Yes, so we definitely will work on communicating these services to our residents and hope that they reach out and use these resources.
For those veterans that are watching right now, what are some of the things that the assessor's office can do?
So they will, there are exemptions, and depending on your status, you can get a veteran's exemption. Our assessor's office does the assessments on our properties. They assess personal property, they assess our real property, and that is where the majority of county revenue comes from.
Okay. As a veteran, I can say that the exemptions that I get as a veteran, I'm very pleased with what Nye County does. So when you listen to the assistant county manager tell you, as a veteran, you should be going to the assessor's office and finding out what some of your benefits are, and take advantage of them because they're there.
They are.
And it's not just the assessor's office, there are other teams as well, other departments that do so much for veterans, as well as the rest of our community. And those are some of the things we're going to be talking about. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, tell us more.
So going back to our county government month, typically we celebrate by a theme. And this year, the president of our National Association of Counties decided to forego and do something different than years past. And so there's no overarching theme. And what we are focusing on are our employees and the work they do. Sometimes you don't realize that the county services that are being provided are by the county.
Right.
Yes. And so, I mean, anywhere from, let's just say, plowing roads to, putting out fires, to deeds being recorded when you purchase a house. Some people may not realize you're interacting with county government.
Mm-hmm. It's so important that we learn more, know more, and understand exactly what's being done on our behalf. and a lot is being accomplished. Now, this the proclamation that was accomplished by the Board of County Commissioners. What more can you tell us about that?
What I can say about the proclamation is that annually we adopt it and commit to providing these services to our county. One challenge I would say I've experienced, and I see it often, the county gets grouped into many different types of government, thinking that that's our responsibility.
Okay.
Local government, meaning or state government, local government, even federal government, school districts, private utilities. We get questions about and complaints about what can you do about these situations, state road versus county road. And so that is our job, to communicate what the county's responsibilities are and also assist our public with where they do need to go with these other areas of concerns they have that are not the commissioner's responsibility.
So what you're saying is there are many people, probably like myself, that sometimes forget that the county is not doing everything.
Yes.
And not responsible for everything. Even though if we have a complaint about something, we blame the county, when we probably should be going someplace else. And this will help us understand and be educated on exactly who's responsible for that particular project.
Absolutely. And we only want to ensure that the citizens are reaching the appropriate party and try to mitigate frustration.
And that's what we should do. Now, we've run out of time on this session, but we're going to be coming back in the next session because we've got so much more to cover. Welcome back. We're so glad to have you back with us. And I still have my guest with me, Lorena Dellinger. She's the Assistant County Manager for Nye County. And we've covered so many different areas already. When she talks about her teams, the different departments, and really understanding what Nye County is all about and the things that they've accomplished. In addition to talking about the proclamation, repeat again what the proclamation is for.
It's to proclaim April as National County Government Month. And
Okay.
yes, and basically what we aim to do, not only in April, but throughout the whole year, is to highlight our county services and communicate with our citizens on what our services are.
Okay, and we also have what you like to, I guess, consider to be Nye University. So what is Nye University?
Nye University is a program that I presented to the Board of County Commissioners last year during National County Government Month. And it is a county government academy which aims to educate our community members on the services we provide and what our departments and elected offices do.
Okay.
For example, our curriculum could be a introduction to county government, introduction to the Board of County Commissioners, administration, HR, our administrative offices.
Now, would this be a class that they could take?
It would be a full academy. I don't have the curriculum quite worked out yet, but it could look something like one day a month in the evening or during the day. And it would be both theory and practical. So, we would do some hands-on, and we'd take a trip to, if we had a law and order day, and be able to participate and sit in on a court session, see how the district attorney's office interacts with the sheriff's office, with our courts.
Wow.
Yes. So, and each session within our curriculum would be strategically planned with similar like departments. We could do community development for one of our sessions, and that would educate our citizens on our planning department, public works department, possibly sit as a Pahrump Regional Planning Commission and decide on, would you approve a zoning app? And so it's not as easy as people think to sit on that dais and make those decisions.
Wow. Now, how many people could you take at one time say if you had a class set up just for what you just talked about, how many could you take at one time?
I've not decided on that final number, although maybe 20 might be a good number to start with. You might have some that might fall out, but we're hoping that anybody that does apply, because there will be an application process and review process, will stay with the program. At the end, we plan on having a graduation ceremony with the Board of County Commissioners.
Okay.
You will receive your diploma. You will have a swag bag. It will be a lot of fun. We will have food at every session.
Okay.
Yes, I'm very excited about it, but mostly I would encourage the community members to participate, to learn more about county government. Also, I believe that it will encourage volunteerism. If you volunteer for one of our committees and boards, that's just furthering your education on county services and, you know, maybe possibly putting your name in for different elected official positions when they become vacant.
And not only would you have somewhat of a background into that area, people in the county would get to know who you are.
Yes, very much so.
Oh, yes, I think that's fantastic. I can see some of the people right now saying, "Okay, where can I get my application?" So, how soon do you think this will be implemented so that, I mean, it's up and running?
I don't have a date. We do have some things right now that are a little, they're higher on the priority list. But my goal is to have the curriculum presented to the Board of County Commissioners, approved, application process. I want to have that lined out. There will be a challenge with ensuring that I have enough residents participating per district.
Okay.
I don't want it to be lopsided.
Gotcha. Oh, yes, we have to make sure of that.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So I've got some work to do on this program, but it would be great if I could launch it by next year's National County Government Month.
Now, because you said it the way you said it, with the different districts, because we have the northern districts and we have the southern districts, it's going to be hard to balance it with the people way up north.
It would be. It depends on the curriculum and how I build that out, and I have thought about that. Okay. So we do have our video conferencing capabilities for some.
That will work.
Yes,
okay.
not the field trips. You know, we would definitely plan that to mirror what's happening in Pahrump. We would do in Tonopah, but there are some of the sessions we would be able to participate via video conference, and each group participating interactively with each other.
Well, I think that's just truly outstanding. That's something I would even look forward to. And with my schedule, oh man, I'd hate to miss out on it. I do want to know what's going on, so I'll probably be asking a lot of questions about it. But just to have you on the show today to talk about exactly what it's going to do, I think that in itself is exciting. If somebody wanted to know more information, how would they get in touch with you to find out?
They can email me, they could call me. My contact information is on our website. Okay.
So if you go to the Nye County website, you're going to find the information. It's on the screen right now. And you can get more information and contact Lorena and say, look, I'm very interested in what you're talking about with Nye University. And I want to know more. I heard what you said, but I want to know more. And that's the way you're going to get more information.
Thank you for that. And I do appreciate public input and what they would like to see as part of the curriculum. I've had elected officials reach out to me asking if they would be included because they feel this would benefit the public by learning more about their office.
That's great. The other side to that, and when you talk about the other elected officials, how do you as assistant county manager work with elected officials, since you're not an elected official?
I am not. It's different with being an appointed versus an elected, but I work very hard at maintaining those relationships, building new ones when we do have a new elected official in office. And I want to ensure they're part of our team and not have silos out there, because that has proven not to work in any environment. But I work hard to maintain those relationships, reach out to them, and make them feel like we're all one team.
And you've been very successful at that.
I have.
You have. It's very obvious. And I think other people have recognized it in the time that, again, when we did not have a county manager and you filled in, it was almost seamless.
It worked very well for the many years that I've worked in Nye County, and having those relationships, the support I had definitely contributed to making it seem like it was seamless.
Okay. Well, again, we don't know everything that goes on in the background, but the things that are out in the public, it looks so easy and it makes you look so professional. But it makes everybody look professional because you make it look easy, which I think is great.
Thank you.
Now, before we run out of time on this session, what are some of the other things you want to cover?
Before we leave the Association of County conversation, I was contacted by the National Association of Counties, Peter Golden, and he was putting a book together on county government. And this was including county leaders across the United States.
Okay.
So, he reached out, asked for people to contribute, turn in a piece. I hesitated, and our public information officer actually encouraged me to submit my piece. And I did my piece on the county airports, municipal airports.
Okay.
They're very, very important and crucial to our rural areas in Nye County. And you didn't know when you submitted your piece if it would be in the book or not, if it was going to be included. I got notification maybe about a year later. I actually forgot about it, that they were putting out press releases, and that's how I got notified that my piece was included, and I brought you a copy of the book.
Okay. Governing on the Ground. And Peter Golden, and you have a piece in this book?
Yes.
I will definitely read it.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. This is the book, and if anybody else wants a copy of it, how can they get a copy?
They are available on Amazon, and you can contact either of our administration offices in Pahrump or Tonopah, and we should have a copy as well.
Outstanding. Okay. Is something else before we run out of time?
I will wrap up by thanking all of our employees in Nye County, because without them, we can't provide the services we provide. There are mandated services, laid out either by Nevada Constitution or our state statutes that we're required to provide. And then we have some elective services that, when budgets allow for, we can provide, but we can't do that with our employees. So I want to give them a big thank you. Okay.
When you have a long list of all the things that Nye County does, all the things that Nye County is responsible for, and these are all the things that you're bringing to the table today. And we really appreciate it. We appreciate you being the assistant county manager. I know Brett appreciates you because he's learning from some of the things that you've already accomplished. But the county itself is benefiting just by having you here.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to say in closing?
I don't have anything else except for thank you for having me and this opportunity to promote our county services, the up-and-coming university, and for showcasing my book, my piece in the book. Okay. I'm going to be looking at the book. I'm going to read that. And we want to thank you for listening to Lorena and listening to everything about Nye County. And come back and see us in a few minutes, and we'll have our next guest on. Good evening and welcome back. We're so glad to have you back. I have some outstanding guests for you this evening, and you're going to have so much information. As I always do, I want to remind you, get pencil, paper, whatever you need to write down all of this
valuable information. First person I want to talk to tonight is Stephanie Wheeler. She's the manager of Fisher House, and some of you are saying, what's a Fisher House? And we're going to talk about that, and she's going to show you some things that's really going to amaze you. And it's all for you, veterans, and people who know veterans. You need to have all of this information. But Stephanie, first, I just want to welcome you to the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Waters. I appreciate that so much.
I am just honored to have you here. You know, I have visited the Fisher House, and I would love to tell them all about it. But since you're here, you can tell them and let them know exactly what's going on at the Fisher House. Well, tell about you first. How did you get to the Fisher House?
Well, when I first started working for VA Southern Nevada, which is the medical center, the Veterans Hospital there in North Las Vegas, I was working in another department. And I did not know anything about Fisher House. I didn't even know what it was. And I saw them building. They started breaking ground across the street from the medical center, just right across the parking lot, actually.
Right. Okay.
And I said, what in the world is that? And they said, oh, it's a Fisher House. And I didn't really know what that meant. A Fisher House, what's a Fisher House? But then I did some research, went online and found out that there's this Fisher House Foundation that builds these wonderful comfort homes for veteran, really any military family member, veterans and friends, people that are there to support anybody that's active duty or a veteran. Okay,
so they have these Fisher Houses, and about how many do they have around the world?
Right now, we have 94.
94.
We have one in the UK, we have one in Germany.
Okay.
And we're on the road to 100, so soon we will have the 100th house. 94 are open right now. House number 95, 96, 97 are in the construction phase.
Okay.
And then the 100th house will be open in 2025. And it'll be a very big celebration. But they found that, you know, we pushed to the 100th house, but now we found out that we may need 120 houses as our military population, you know, they continue to grow and need for services are there. So we're not stopping at 100.
Okay, that's great. Now, you say the Fisher House Foundation. Is that a company or what is that?
The Fisher House Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit that was established in 1990 by Zachary Fisher, who started the Fisher House Foundation.
Okay.
And it was to support, and it started at Bethesda, to support Walter Reed. And
in Maryland,
the first Fisher House only had 8 rooms. And so we have expanded and grown. Now houses have 16 rooms like ours here in North Las Vegas. And we just continue to grow.
Now I'm going to jump to something. I know it's a question that I wanted to ask later, but how much does this cost the veteran or the active duty member and their family?
Everything is free.
Free.
So
that's what I wanted you to know.
Yeah, your lodging. We do have a kitchen, which I'll show some pictures later on. You know, in this tape of this broadcast, and we'll show you the kitchen. And we have some basic staples, sandwich stuff, soups, and stuff like that we provide, and it's all free of charge.
Okay.
We want to take that financial burden off of those people that are here to support our veterans, and so we do that.
Okay. Now that you know that it's free. Now let's see who's eligible for all of this.
Okay.
How do you determine eligibility?
Okay, so to be eligible, you need to live at least 50 miles outside a radius of the medical center. So you have to drive.
That's the VA hospital in North Las Vegas.
That is correct.
Okay.
So you have to live 50 miles away, and you have to have a veteran or active duty service member receiving care. Now, it does not have to be only at the VA Medical Center there in North Las Vegas, because VA Southern Nevada has community care, which is a whole department, and now veterans have, with the Choice Act, they can choose if they want to go or to the hospital at North Las Vegas or if they want to go out into the community. So if they want to go out into the community, they can still stay at the Fisher House no matter where they're at.
Fantastic. Okay. Again, this is session 1. And as we go through session 1, I wanted you to hear from Stephanie exactly what the Fisher House is all about, how much it would cost, and who it's for. It's for the person that's receiving medical care. But it's also for their families and their friends that come to visit and support them.
Right. So veterans and active duty service members, I must say, cannot stay at the Fisher House by themselves.
Okay.
So they must have a support person, which could be, a spouse, it could be a friend, it could be even somebody that maybe you're in a American Legion or a veteran service organization that would be willing to come up and stay and support the veteran while they're receiving care.
Okay. And I think every veteran knows this already because you've already received care at the VA hospital. And because of all the other places that you can go and receive care, as long as you're receiving care and you need that support person,
yes,
they can stay at the Fisher House.
That's correct. I've heard from so many veterans, we don't want to take that early 7 a.m. appointment because I have to drive from, say, Pahrump or
Yes.
Bullhead or Kingman or Mesquite or wherever. But now you can take that 7 a.m. appointment,
Yes.
come in the day before, stay with us, and then get up and get across the parking lot to the medical center to your appointment.
Can't beat that at all. Can't beat it. Now, I also want to show you some of the things about the Fisher House. Now, you have a lot of statistics about it.
I do. So we have served, these are statistics that are specific to the North Las Vegas Fisher House.
Okay.
So this is not nationwide, this is just us. But we have served over 6,500 families since we opened. We opened in 2016. We just had our 7th birthday, and we're going to talk about that.
Absolutely.
We have provided over 14,800 nights of lodging, saving military families $1.8 million is our best estimate.
This is fantastic. To save all that money and be at a place that really cares about you.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Now, obviously, without me saying so much, I have stayed at the Fisher House, and I can tell you just how fantastic it is. I didn't really know what to expect or how much of everything to expect, and I was overwhelmed, and I just think it's fantastic, and that's why we wanted to make sure that you find out about it, and that's why Stephanie is here tonight.
Right. We just are honored to be able to serve those people that have done so much for this wonderful country. So it's our honor and a pleasure.
And you talked about the birthday. You've been open now for 7 years.
We just celebrated our 7th birthday. We had a birthday celebration on February 22nd, and the Fisher House Foundation actually sent a representative from Bethesda, Maryland to help us celebrate. It was a great, great day, and we have little celebrations. We celebrate Zachary Fisher's birthday and different things we do there. But it was just nice to have the house open. Some of the COVID restrictions are lifting a little bit.
Okay.
We were able to, have an open house where people could actually come through and see the house in person.
Now, you mentioned something else, too, before we went on air, and that was the fact that the leadership at Nellis Air Force Base has come out, and they're bringing their first sergeants, their commanders, and everybody is finding out more and more.
That's correct. They were just at the house on Tuesday,
Okay.
and we were talking about the continued support and how we are able to support those active duty families. If a person's stationed at Nellis Air Force Base and they have family that needs to come in, we're going to provide them housing, lodging while they're here to support that injured or ill active duty service member. And I've thought, we have 16 rooms at our house. Our house is 13,500 square feet. And there's land. For those of you that have been to the medical center, there's land to the west. I want to build a second Fisher House. And so we can do that. If the need is there, I know the Fisher House Foundation will support that.
So already, it's been 7 years, and so many people still don't know Fisher House is there.
That's correct.
And that's why we're here again tonight, so that you know, and you can tell your friends. Everybody knows a veteran somewhere, or active duty member. And again, the veteran or the active duty member can't stay there alone, but for that support team,
Right.
that family member, that friend can stay there with the veteran. The veteran goes to their appointment. The person can stay there.
Mm-hmm. And there's no limit to how long, we're talking about appointments, maybe primary care appointments or different things. But there has been 2 sisters stayed at the Fisher House, our Fisher House, for 7 months while their father was receiving care. He was in ICU and moved to. So there's no limit to how long that support person can stay.
Fantastic.
As long as the veteran's receiving care, it's free to stay.
There's so much more we're going to be talking about, and we're going to be showing you all the pictures so that you know exactly what it looks like in the Fisher House. But I also wanted to talk about the care that you give to each person that's there. How do you take care of all the people that are there?
So many people are just humbled by the experience.
Yes.
Because they do not, and you can speak to that a little bit because you have been there as a guest. So we try to, the staff of Fisher House, try to anticipate any need that the family would have prior to them even knowing they need the need.
Okay.
So we have a laundry room with 3 washers, 3 dryers, and we have all the laundry detergents and things, to do laundry. We have an ice machine. We have, like I said, mini snacks. People take snacks and they go over to sit with their veteran at the medical center. There's just a lot of things that we try to, try to anticipate a need.
And you don't have to drive to the medical center. You just walk right over.
I have a golf cart at the Fisher House, and we will zip you over. And I don't know if you want me to drive, because I'm kind of a crazy woman driver. But anyway, I said it. But yeah, we do have a golf cart, and we provide shuttle service back and forth to the VA Medical Center because we share their parking lot. So it's just right across the parking lot.
You can't beat exactly what Stephanie is talking about. And again, the Fisher House is there. It's available. And you need to take advantage of this. I hope you're writing all this down, and write down the contact information so you can contact Stephanie if you have any questions at all. We're going to keep on putting that up on the screen as we go, but I want you to come back for our next session because we're going to show you what the Fisher House looks like, the facilities there, and all the accommodations. So come back and join us. Welcome back. We're so glad to have you back with us. I have Stephanie Jo Wheeler. She's the manager of the VA Southern Nevada Fisher House. And we've been telling you about all the things that Fisher House does, but we'd like to show you exactly some things. And Stephanie is going to describe the pictures that are coming up to let you see exactly what the Fisher House has to offer.
Thank you so much. What I brought is a video, and it's our 7th anniversary, and we did some video while we were there. And so I'd like to show this. This was our celebration we just did. This is our entryway when you come into the Fisher House. That's the bust of Zach and Elizabeth. There's some of our guests that were there today to help celebrate our 7th anniversary. Of course, everybody loves cake, right? There's Zach and Elizabeth, the bust of Zach and Elizabeth. It's going to take you into one of our rooms. We did have kind of a spontaneous car show, and we had people here from the Fisher House Foundation. That is the front of the house. I'm sure those of you that have gone to appointments up there know what that house looks like. And some people think it's an office building or something like that. So.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But the Fisher House, with all the different locations around the world, I think we have the best of all.
I would agree. But I'm not biased or anything.
Okay.
We were the first that had the rock front. So most of them are stuccoed or they have. So
okay.
I was at a manager's training in Bethesda, and the designer, they asked him, what's your favorite house? And he said Las Vegas. And that was wise because we have the rock front. So
okay.
It's a beautiful building.
Okay. Now, you also have some wonderful people that work there besides yourself. And you can tell us about them.
Yes, I have a wonderful support staff. I have, this is Ray. Ray is Environmental Services Housekeeping, so he is there to serve with extra linens or to clean up your room, anything like that. His counterpart is Chris Castillo. This is Chris, and he will also assist with anything your room, or we all just pitch in, and so able to do anything you ask. I have Brian Wiedemeyer. He's the program specialist. He helps me with renovations, and he makes sure that the room stays in that pristine condition that it was given to the VA. Maria Rodriguez is our assistant Fisher House manager, and she handles all the reservations. So when you call her, she will be able to get your reservation secured. And then me, of course, the Fisher House manager. So
I am just I'm so proud of all of you because, like I said, when I stayed at the Fisher House, I was just amazed.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate hearing that.
And you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed at what it costs, which again, she's already said is no cost to the veteran or the family. There are a lot of things that they do. I want you to talk about the 50 miles again and who's eligible to be there.
Okay, so eligibility is, I first must say, veterans cannot stay by themselves because our mission is to provide support to those people who are supporting the veteran or the active duty service member. So any military family is who we're here to support.
Okay.
And they must live outside of a 50-mile radius from the VA Medical Center to be eligible to stay. So I've heard, local veterans say, well, how can the Fisher House help us? I mean, we live locally, but there's a wonderful program called Hero Miles. So our local veterans may have a grown child that lives outside of the Las Vegas Valley, or they may have an aunt or a mother or somebody, a family member that needs to fly in from, say, Fayetteville, North Carolina, where Fort Bragg is. We can help. We can pay for their airfare to get that family to Las Vegas and to get them to that veteran or active duty military's bedside. If they need their family support, we are going to get them there.
And then they can stay at the Fisher House.
And they can stay at the Fisher House because they live more than 50 miles away.
Fantastic. Wow. And that's called Hero Miles?
It's called Hero Miles, and they would just call the Fisher House, which I know you're going to show the phone number and discuss it, and we'll submit the application. It usually takes about 2 days to secure a ticket.
Okay.
There are exceptions for emergencies because, sometimes life throws emergencies at us. And so there are exceptions where I can get them. I've turned them around in about 2 or 3 hours, an emergency situation.
So if they call the number that was shown on the screen, they'll be connected to the Fisher House, and they can what's her name again?
Maria Rodriguez.
Maria Rodriguez, and let her know, look, this is my situation, and I'd like to make reservations for my mother-in-law, my brother, sister, cousin.
Whomever is coming to support that veteran.
Outstanding. And you pay the airfare?
I will pay the airfare.
Wow. And then they can stay free at the Fisher House.
That's correct, because we want to, and the heart of the Fisher House Foundation is where we get our support, along with wonderful, outstanding veteran service organizations. When they built the house, our house cost $6.5 million.
Okay.
Okay, so the Fisher House Foundation usually pays for about half of the house. So they paid $3 million for our house, but the supporters in Las Vegas, Clark County, Nye County, they got together. We were the fastest built house ever because of the support that we received. And that's how we're able to offer these wonderful benefits, is because I get support. The Fisher House gets support from all these veteran service organizations throughout the valley, the Las Vegas Valley, and to include Nye County.
That is fantastic. But I also want to repeat something you said. You said you're a 501c3, which means you can also donate to the Fisher House to support exactly what they're doing for veterans and active duty members and family members. And so, if you donate, then it becomes tax deductible.
That's correct.
So you can help by donating to the Fisher House.
That's correct. We do have an Amazon wish list, but I'm not here to solicit any donations. I don't want to think that. I just want people to know about the house. And if you're interested in anything else, just give me a call and we can discuss it.
Okay. I want to jump on something else too. You've shown you showed the video, but you also have, like you said, in the kitchen. What foods do you provide, and what foods should we bring in when we stay there?
So Monday is grocery day.
Okay.
I will tell you that on Mondays we do our grocery orders. That's the day, just like in a regular house. That's what we are, as a regular house with 16 bedrooms. So I go grocery shopping. We always have milk and bread and eggs and cheese and sandwich, lunch meat, stuff to make soups.
Okay.
Coffee. We have lots of coffee creamers, different things, because doesn't everybody need coffee in the morning?
Yes.
We have individualized packaged snacks, that sort of thing, and frozen meals, frozen breakfast bowls, the different types that you can buy at whatever grocery store, wherever you shop. We have those available. And so if you want, but you can bring anything you want. We have 2 grills outside. We have some families that come in and bring steaks and chicken or hot dogs or burgers, and they throw them out on the grill, because it's not my house, it's the veterans' house, or their family. So we want them to feel at home and to use the amenities that we have, just like they're at their own house.
So if they bring food in, where do they put it?
We have wonderful Sub-Zero refrigerators.
Perfect.
And they have individual bins for each one of the rooms, so everybody has some private refrigerator and freezer space.
Again, look like you've covered all the bases. You've covered everything, and you've looked at, like you said, anticipating the needs and the wants.
That's what we try to do.
Oh, this is fantastic. If you don't bring anything in, as I think the first time when I stayed there, I think I was having some appointments, and so my wife Faye was able to stay there, and we didn't bring any food in, but you had so much other food available. So what are the normal staples that you would normally have?
Well, it's normally kind of quicker type food items. Like I said, the bread, and we usually have luncheon meat, stuff to make sandwiches, and we have different canned soups, and there's just all kinds of things. Now, it's not steak and lobster. I think I told you that before. We don't have steak and lobster or anything like that, but we do have enough so people do not have to go out into the community. A lot of people come in from rural communities or different metropolitan areas, and they're afraid of the Las Vegas traffic. I live in Las Vegas, and I'm afraid of the Las Vegas traffic, so I understand that. But anyway, we try to have enough that they don't have to leave the house unless they just choose to do so.
Okay. And how many rooms do you have now?
We have 16, so we are able to do to house 16 families at a time, and the rule is one family, one room. We have different types of rooms, and I'll hopefully be able to show some pictures. We have rooms with one queen, and we have rooms with 2 full-size beds, just like what you would see, and they all have their own bathrooms. So there was a misconception or a rumor going around that we have shared bathrooms. That's not the case.
Let's show some of those pictures then.
I would love to.
Okay. And as those pictures are coming up.
So this is a typical guest room with the 2 full-size beds. So as you can see, it's equivalent to anything you would see at a strip property. So very nice accommodations. And then I don't know what pictures, that again is the front of the house. So this is 101. This is one of our smaller rooms. It's a room with 1 queen. But you can see, we kind of did a video of the room and things that are in the rooms. And then it will show the restrooms, the bathrooms. All of the restrooms are the same. And so, but I did want to show that. That's our kitchen that we talk about. We have 2 cooktops, 2 sinks, 2 dishwashers. I mean, we can throw down on holidays.
All right.
We cook turkeys at Thanksgiving and everything. It's a fantastic. That's the front of the house. I wanted to show this picture specifically because so many people come to the VA Medical Center and they see that building. So this is what you would see if you were coming in to the north side of the VA Medical Center, and that's us.
And we're at the Fisher House.
Yes. And
that's where everything happens. And you need to know about this because we want you to spread the word. We want you to tell other people that it's there. Your fill rate of the rooms that you have, I know you don't have, say, 5 or 6 empty rooms just sitting there.
No, usually, typically, our statistics are we have about 2 rooms a night open.
Okay.
So that tells me that it's not, the word's not out there. VA Southern Nevada has approximately 5,000 appointments throughout the valley every day. So 16 families. But we're never really full because we do have overflow. We have agreements with some different properties where we can place veteran families if we don't have a room at the Fisher House. So we will always be able to help support.
And also you may have to expand at one time.
Yes.
We're running out of time, but they may have to expand and build another house.
We have space available.
And the only way to do that is if you take advantage of what we have. So we're going to encourage you, find out more about the Fisher House, call Stephanie, let her know how much you're interested in it, thank her for coming out and telling us all about it. So Stephanie, again,
thank you so much for giving me the time.
Oh,
I appreciate it, Dr. Waters. And
now,
stop by.
Say more.
Yeah, just ring the doorbell, stop by, come for a tour.
Come by for a tour. She will show you everything about the Fisher House, what's going on, and how you can become a part of it and show this support. And come back and join us in a few minutes for our next guest.